we are going to start the lesson sexual reproduction, flowering plants. Sexual reproduction, flowering, sexual reproduction, flowering plants. Sexual reproduction, flowering plants. So, what is the sexual reproduction flowering plants? So, all angiosperms, all flowering plants, all angiosperms, angiosperms, matlab they had flowers. All angiosperms, they had flowers. They show the sexual reproduction. Angiosperms show the sexual reproduction. So very important. All angiosperms show the sexual reproduction. So what is the difference between angiosperms and gymnosperms? Angiosperms having seed coat is present. For example, it is a, of course, if you imagine this is a seed, if seed coat is there, that is an angiosperm. If seed coat not there, that is a gymnosperm. We are discussing about the flowering plants. So all angiosperms show the sexual reproduction. Then one more important point, one more important word. Flower. A flower is a fascinating organ of angiosperms. Flower is a fascinating organ. And before going to that, flower is a reproductive unit of the plant. Reproductive. Flower is a reproductive unit of the plant. Flower is a reproductive unit of the plant. Then I mean, name the reproductive unit of the plant is flower. Name the sexual reproductive part of the plant is flower. So flower is a fascinating organ. Flower can convey the human feelings. Flower is used as an ornamental. Flower is a beautiful. Flower convey the human feelings such as love, affection, sad, grief, and flowers are used in different functions, different religions, different festivals, different they may use the flowers. Then brief explanation about the flower. Now floriculture, one word. Floriculture means floriculture, culturing of flowers, cultivation of flowers, culturing of flowers is called floriculture. They may chance to ask in NEET level floriculture or a theory question also. Define floriculture, culturing of the flowers. Now, for example, when we see one flower, how it is, how the structure will come. See here, this is the brief diagram of the flower. Brief diagram of the flower. This is a flower. This rough diagram. It is there in textbook also. That diagram also correct. Don't think different. That is also correct for understanding. I draw this diagram. This is the flower, general flower. Then see here, this is the typical flower. The parts were seen. This is a calyx. This is a corolla. This is a calyx. Member of calyx is nothing but sepal. I am trying to write these sepals like that. This is a sepal. This is a petal. This is a stamen. This is an anther. This is a filament actually. This is nothing but stigma. This is a style. This is a ovary. This is thalamus or receptacle. This is a pedicel, not pencil, pedicel. This is a typical flower. See here, this is a typical flower. When observing this flower, there are 4 whorls are present. When observing flower, 4 whorls are present. 4 whorls. The 4 whorls are arranged in thalamus. So first whorl, second whorl, third whorl, fourth. First whorl, second whorl, third whorl, fourth whorl All four whorls arranged in swollen-like structure. This is called thalamus. I repeat the point. Thalamus is a swollen-like structure. Thalamus is a swollen-like structure, or four whorls arranged in swollen-like structure called thalamus. Thalamus also called receptacle. Thalamus also called receptacle. Now, then the flower attached to the stem. For example, it is a flower. Here stem portion is there. This stem portion, the flower attached to the stem, it is stalk-like structure. This is called a pedicel. Not pencil, pedicel. So stalk of the flower is a pedicel. Now I am going to mention the stalks. Just you recall from flowering plants or morphology of flowering plants. Stalk of the leaf petiole. Stalk of the flower is a pedicel. Stalk of the inflorescence peduncle. Stalk of the stamen is a filament. Stalk of the carpel is a style. These are all the stalks. For a neat purpose, may chance to ask stalks. What is the stalks like? So thalamus, swollen-like structure, also called a receptacle. Pedicel, stalk of the flower is a pedicel. The stalk is nothing but the part which is connected to the stem. The part of the flower which is connected to the stem is pedicel. It is a stalk-like structure. Now you see there are four whorls are there. Just I told four whorls are present here. First whorl is calyx. First whorl calyx. Second whorl is corolla. Second whorl is corolla. Third whorl is andrecium. Third whorl is andrecium. Fourth whorl is gynoecium. Fourth whorl is gynoecium. See, there are four whorls arranged in the thalamus. I told already. The first whorl calyx, corolla. First whorl calyx, second corolla, third andrecium, fourth gynoecium. Based on among these whorls, based on the involvement of reproduction, there is two important parts are there. The two important parts is nothing but non-essential parts of flower. Non-essential parts of flower, essential parts of flower. Non-essential parts of flower also called accessory parts. Non-essential parts of flower. Non-essential or accessory parts. Non-essential or accessory parts. They are going to ask question. Name the whorls or name the parts of the flower which are considered as non-essential parts or accessory parts. Calyx, corolla are called non-essential or accessory parts of the flower. Why? Because these two, calyx and corolla, not directly involved in the reproduction. That's why these two are called non-essential or accessory parts of flower. Then second one, essential parts of flower. This is the essential or reproductive. Essential or reproductive part of flower. For example, you see here andrecium and gynoecium. Andrecium and gynoecium are essential or reproductive part of flower. How going to ask question? Mention the essential parts of flower. Mention the reproductive part of the flower. Andrecium and gynoecium are essential part of flower or reproductive part of the flower. Why? Because these two are directly involved in the reproduction. That's why these two are called essential part of flower or non-essential part of flower. First, one by one, we'll see brief explanation about these whorls. First one is calyx. The first one is calyx. See here, everyone. First one is calyx. This diagram here with you. First whorl is the calyx. So you just recall this information from the morphology of flowering plants. I am going to mention once again. Then you see first whorl of the flower. First whorl of the flower. Or outermost whorl of the flower. First whorl or outermost whorl. Outermost whorl of the flower. First whorl or outermost whorl of the flower is calyx. Then calyx is a green in color. Then green color carry out photosynthesis. Then what is the function of calyx? Then calyx, the function, the calyx is helps in protection. calyx, the first whorl protect the remaining whorls. The calyx, this is the calyx. The calyx protect the remaining whorls at the bud stage. And one more important word, the members of calyx are sepals. Members of calyx are sepals. Then here two words are there, gamosepalous. Gamosepalous. Gamosepalous means if sepals are united, sepals are united, sepals are united, sepals are united or fused, said to be gamosepalous condition. Polycephalous, polycephalous condition. Polycephalous means sepals are not united, sepals are free, sepals are free. For example, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that there now. Sepals are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sepals united. This is a united. That is said to be gamosepalous. Polycephalous means sepals are free. That is nothing but polycephalous condition. And one more important word here, persistent calyx. Persistent calyx. This is also important word, persistent calyx. Persistent calyx means generally after fertilization the sepals are with us, but in some fruits, the calyx or sepals still attached to the fruit. The calyx still attached to the fruit. For example, when you imagine a brinjal, there is a green color calyx still attached to the fruit. That's said to be persistent calyx. Example brinjal. Example Solanum melangina. It belongs to Solanaceae family. Question may chance to ask which of the following plants show the persistent calyx? Brinjal, Solanum melangina. Which of the following family show the persistent calyx? Solanaceae family. This is about brief information about the calyx. Now we are going to explain second whorl. This is nothing but corolla. See, corolla. Corolla. Second whorl, corolla. Second whorl is a corolla. The members of the corolla is the petals. Members of corolla is the petals. Corolla is a second whorl. Second whorl. Then members of corolla petals. Corolla petals are brightly in color. Brightly in color. When brightly in color and attract the insects and helps in pollination. Function pollination. So calyx are helps in protection. Then corolla brightly in color and helps in pollination. This is nothing but corolla. Corolla different shapes, so different colors they have. Then how it is sepals are united, how they are free. Like that petals also fused. That's said to be gamopetalous. Gamopetalous condition. Gamopetalous means petals united. Petals united. Petals united, gamopetalous. Polypetalous. Polypetalous. Polypetalous means petals free. Petals free. So petals free, polypetalous. Petals united, that's said to be gamopetalous. And one more important words here. Then the stamens are attached to other floral parts also. That having some words there, it is already discussed in morphology of flowering plants. Once again we recall the words. Epipetalous, important word. Epipetalous. Epipetalous means stamen attached to the corolla. Stamen attached to the corolla. That's said to be epipetalous condition. I mean petals are attached to the stamens are attached to the petals. That's said to be epipetalous condition. For example, brinjal, see here brinjal, Solanum melangina, Solanaceae family. Then epiphyllous condition. Epiphyllous or epitapalous. Epiphyllous or epitapalous condition. Epitapalous condition. The epiphyllous or epitapalous condition means stamens are attached with the tepals. Sir, what is the meaning of staples, sir? Generally, what we told, there are four orals. First oral, calyx and corolla. Corolla, calyx. Second oral is corolla. But here, first oral is calyx. Second oral is a corolla. In some flowers, there is no differentiation of calyx and corolla. Calyx and corolla, we can't differentiate. Those type of flowers are called periantha. The members of the perianth is tepals. I repeat the word here. Periantha. Periantha word means in some flower, there is no differentiation of calyx and corolla. That word is periantha. That members of the perianth is tepals. Now come to this epiphyllous condition. Stamens are attached with the tepals or stamens are attached with the perianth, said to be epiphyllous or epitepalous condition. इसका एग्जांपल Liliaceae family, lily flowers. This is nothing but a corolla. These are non-essential parts of flower. Now we are going to explain about essential parts of flower. That is very important. Essential parts of flower. Can you see here? Essential parts of flower. First one we will see. We already told that essential parts of flower. The essential parts of flower is androecium and gynoecium. Now come to third one, androecium. Third oral of the flower is androecium. Third oral of the flower is androecium. Members of androecium. Before going to the members of androecium, third oral of the flower, and androecium represent as male reproductive part of the flower. Male reproductive part of the flower is the androecium. Then members of androecium is the stamen. Many students are made the chance to confuse here. Then which of the following is the male reproductive part of the flower is? A. Androecium. B. Stamen. C. Gynoecium. D. A pistil. May chance to ask. Then you are going to select androecium, not stamen. Androecium is a male reproductive part of the plant. Androecium consists of stamens. Now we see the stamen. What is stamen? This is a stamen. Generally, stamen consists of two important parts. Two important parts are there in stamen. That is nothing but one is a filament, stamen. Second one is anther. First one filament, second one anther. There is two diagrams are there in textbook. Just roughly I'll draw here. Then see once again. This is nothing but this is an anther. This is a filament. A typical stamen filament. There is a view section, 3D dimensional structure also there that you observe in the textbook. This is the anther and filament. So stamen consists of two important parts, anther and filament. First part is filament. The first part is a filament. The filament means stalk-like structure. Stalk of the flower is pedicel. Stalk of the stamen is filament. Very important. Stalk of the stamen is a filament. This is nothing but stalk-like structure. This is the proximal end. The proximal end means this is the proximal end of the stamen or basal end of the stamen. Proximal or basal end of the stamen. The proximal or basal end of the stamen is attached to thalamus or petals. Proximal end of the filament is attached to thalamus or petal. Sometimes they may chance to ask question. Proximal end of the filament is attached to the anther, B. Gynoecium, C. Thalamus or petal, D. No one the above. Thalamus or petal. Many students also again here may chance to confuse. They are going to select anther. Proximal end means this is the proximal. This is the proximal end. This is the basal end. Proximal end of the filament is attached to the thalamus or petal. This is nothing but filament. Now come to anther. This is the anther. Now you see here anther. The anther important structure na anther. Stamen mein anther. Important one. This is the anther. Anther. So before going to that, angiosperms are having flower. Angiosperm is diploid. Flowers are diploid. Then calyx diploid. Corolla diploid. Then androecium also diploid in condition. Stamen also diploid in condition. Stamen also called a microsporophyll. One more word, important word. Need purpose. Microsporophyll. Microsporophyll also diploid. I mean, stamen diploid means microsporophyll also diploid. Anther also diploid in condition. Anther diploid in condition. So a typical anther, when you observe the anther is nothing but tip of the filament is anther. Tip of the filament is anther. Tip of the filament is anther. Anther generally it is a bilobed. Angiosperm anther is a bilobed. Bilobed means two lobes are present. Each lobe consists of two theca. Or sacs. Sacs means bags. Each lobe consists of two theca or sacs. Then it's said to be dithecous anther. Dithecous anther. Very important word, Nana. Sometimes association region also question. Angiosperms, generally angiosperm, all angiosperms are dithecous anther. And because of how we say dithecous anther means angiosperms having bilobed, each lobe consists of two theca. That's why it is a dithecous anther. Statement 1, statement 2 association region question. Statement 1, angiosperms have dithecous anther. Statement 2, each lobe having two theca. Then what is the answer? There are four options are there for association region. Statement 1 or statement 2 correct, and then second statement is the correct explanation for first statement. Second one, statement 1 and statement 2 both are correct. Second is not correct explanation for first one. Then third one, statement 1 correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Fourth option, statement 1 and 2 correct. For this what I was given, first statement is angiosperms mostly dithecous anther. Second statement, each lobe having two thecas. Then answer, both statements are correct. Second also correct explanation for the first one. Now you see, then bilobed means when you 3D view structure of the stamen, whereas where taken, there is a bilobed. Bilobed means each lobe having two theca. Totally it consists of, for example, you see here 3D dimensional structure. It comes like this. Here one, here 4. Then totally 4 thecas are present. In each theca, 1 microsporangium. Each theca, 1 microsporangium. 1 microsporangium is present. 1 microsporangium. Then totally 4 microsporangiums. Are present. Then said to be tetrasporangiate. This word also important. Tetrasporangiate. Each theca consists of 1 microsporangium. Then totally 4 microsporangium. Then said to be tetrasporangiate condition. So in the anther, bilobed, each lobe consists of 2 theca or sacs, said to be dithecous anther. Then each theca having 1 microsporangium. Then each corner of the anther, there is a 4 microsporangiums are present. That's said to be tetrasporangiate condition. But in Malvaceae family, there is a monothecous anther condition. Sometimes they also ask monothecous anther will seen in which of the following family? Monothecous anther will seen in a Malvaceae family. This is nothing but stamen androecium structure. Then what is microsporangium? What is the structure? How it is developed? Microsporangium further develops into pollen sacs. Microsporangium further develop into pollen sac. Pollen sac produce the pollen grains. The microsporangium are also called pollen sac. Later we are going to discuss about the microsporangium or pollen sac in next class. Microsporangium pollen sac structure we are going to discuss about the next class. Thank you very much.